I actually think it's too late in the evening, but I've said that repeatedly. But, Commissioner, I have to say, the more I listen, the less I'm reassured. I have to say that, and I don't wish to do that whatsoever. Mr. Kelly has said he regrets taking out the paragraph. Would that cause you concern?
Yes, it would, Deputy. Okay. And I want to be very clear.
No, you just tell me now about your concern in relation to his regret of taking out that paragraph. He made a very strong statement in a paragraph. He took it out under reinsurances. He felt he was duped. Very strong, very honest of him.
I cannot. Mr. Kelly is here. He can speak for himself.
No, I want you to. No, sorry. Now, I'm asking you to react to that as the Commissioner. This is the auditor telling us he felt he was duped.
Deputy, I've made it very clear that I cannot speak for my predecessors. I cannot speak for previous office holders.
Just for yourself.
But I can speak for myself.
Listening to that today, as Commissioner, we have the auditor feeling he was duped.
And that is unacceptable. And what I can be clear to the committee is, Mr. Kelly, as the head of internal audit, the audit committee, the policing authority, and indeed the lessons learned by the Comptroller and Auditor General, everybody is being kept visible in relation to the issues that are identified.
Just one second now. This auditor did his damnedest. I've complimented him already. I don't entirely agree with what's been said. I think he did his damnedest. The question comes, what pressure was put on him? Which I'll come back to Mr. Kelly if any. But he's saying here at a public, it's very strong. It's very strong report. He took out a paragraph. Mr. Cullen, I mightn't have time to come back to you, but double things are being said. On top of that, we learn that the report, Mr. Nugent, that I referred to from the Assistant Commissioner way back in 2010, when the Commissioner, the man in charge of Templemore, when he said, hold on to the Commissioner, look, this is our money. That report you're going to make available to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's okay. When did you become aware of it? 2 days ago, is it? Or?
Yes, in the context of pulling material together.
When did you become aware of it?
I believe it was probably Thursday or Friday of last week.
All right. So do you understand, when we look at it and we go back and you see the gap and then suddenly you're only aware of it, Mr. Kelly only became aware of it, Commissioner, you only became aware of it yesterday?
Yes.
A major piece of written information by a Deputy Commissioner, is it, in charge of the college in Templemore, saying, no, this is our money, we're not getting enough from the government. What's your reaction to that?
As I say, Deputy, and at risk of repeating myself, I can only account for myself as accounting officer.
I'm asking exactly, what is your reaction to that? You only became aware of that yesterday.
Yes.
How was that piece of vital information not brought to your attention?
Because I think, to be fair to Mr. Kelly and his team, as Mr. Kelly has highlighted, this is a situation that goes back over decades.
No.
There is an enormous amount of material.
No, Commissioner, please. This is a specific question.
Yes.
Please. You were only made aware of this information. A Deputy Commissioner.
Yes, but it's a Deputy Commissioner who held a position a number of years ago.
It was a written document.
But Deputy, perhaps if I can explain, and maybe assist the committee. This is an organisation of almost 16,000 people. It is spread right across the country. Mr. Kelly was doing a piece of work over a protracted period of time, but a very confined period of time, in the Garda College. What is evident is that there may be material which will assist Mr. Kelly's investigation, which is held in other offices.
Deputy Commissioner, please, just at this time of the evening. We have a Deputy Commissioner in charge of Templemore, and he fundamentally disagrees with the Commissioner. And it's written out, so it's a vital piece in the chronology, isn't it?
It is vital,
okay.
but Deputy, can I be clear? Because I do not want to, again, I don't want to be a disadvantage to the committee in any way, and I don't want to feel that I'm disadvantaged, because for the simple reason is I cannot account for the mindset or the view of somebody who is no longer in the organisation and is not here to account for themselves.
How was that only brought to your attention yesterday?
Because it was only discovered in the last few days by the Chief Administrative Officer. How could it be only discovered?
Could somebody throw some light on how that could only be discovered? Please.
And I think the problem is it's the vastness of the documents, but that's.
So tell me how you discovered it, Mr. Newton.
So as part of the process of compiling material.
Aware of it, who's here was a witness, just to help the deputy.
So staff in my office discovered the document.
How? Sorry.
As part of the pulling together materials for the committee.
Okay. So that begs the question. So if there's a lot more documents that are relevant, yeah.
Yes. And Deputy, as I've said, we are operating in an architecture which is archaic.
No.
There are silos of information in lots of different places. Part of what we're trying to do is pull it all together.
I don't accept that whatsoever. I don't, Commissioner, and I just don't accept it. The Department of Agriculture have serious questions to answer, or the Department of Justice, whoever it was.
Department of Justice.
Yeah.
Not the Department of Agriculture,
Justice, yeah. It changed, didn't it? It was. Yeah. Serious, changed along the way. Serious questions to answer in terms of permission from the Minister, serious questions to answer in terms of knowledge, and it's too late in the evening. So, Chair, with your permission, I'm going to reserve my position. I would like the document from Mr. Barrett. I'd like to read it. I'd like to be aware of it. I'd like to be able to ask questions in relation to it. Mr. Kelly, just a final question. Were you under pressure to withdraw the paragraph?
I don't think I was. No, I went as far as I could. I spoke to the CAO. I spoke to the Deputy Commissioner at the time.
Who was that?
That was Deputy Rice.
You spoke to Deputy Rice at the time?
Yeah.
That was Deputy Rice who'd already expressed an opinion that this money belonged to the Guards and nobody else.
Absolutely.
Sorry, just elaborate, please. Sorry.
I was reporting to Deputy Rice at that time. The report came from the CAO side. I talked to them all. I talked to the chair of the audit committee. I took a balanced view. It may, in hindsight, have been the wrong decision.
When did you talk to Deputy Rice? Commissioner Rice?
Around that time.
What time?
It was March 2011, around that period when I was concluding my annual report to the Commissioner. And I talked to everybody.
You felt reassured from what he's told you?
The primary source of assurance was from the CAO's office.
Okay. Just, Mr. Ruan, were you the legal advisor all of the time, or when did you come in?
Deputy, December 2011.
Okay, so you weren't the advisor that gave the advice in relation to not lifting the veil of the company?
No, Deputy.
Yeah, and you've read that?
I have read it, and with respect, it's from a colleague.
Yeah.
I don't fully agree with it, but I have to respect the advice that was given, but that's just my view.
Okay, and Commissioner, just finally, in relation to your waiving privilege, in relation to the advice from Mr. Ruan, I wasn't quite sure. I understood you had no problem waiving that privilege and talking to us, but then subsequently you seemed to go back on that.
I have no difficulty, Deputy, speaking to what I did, but I have to respect the legal professional privilege that exists between a client and
I don't understand that now, because you're the client.
Yes?
Yeah, and so you can waive it if you want.
Yes, but I have to uphold and respect the legal professional privilege that applies.
No, sir, you can waive that. Sorry, you can waive it if you want. It's not Mr. Ruan's privilege to waive it.
Yes, Deputy, I fully understand that.
So you can waive it if you want and tell us exactly what was said to you.
But my view is that I must uphold the legal professional privilege that applies.
Why is that, sir?
I have no difficulty telling the committee what I did, but there is an established principle of legal professional privilege.
I don't understand that, Chair. Sorry now, and I'm caught myself for time.
Deputy Connolly, I think you're back.
No, I'm not. I'm here as a... Sorry now, thanks for the help. I'm not. I'm here as a TD and I'm not practising. But just in relation to... You can waive it. You're the client and you can tell what was advised to you.
I would have to take further advice.
That's okay, and you might come back to us then when you're back before us. Thanks very much. Thanks, Chair. Thanks.
Okay, just before we conclude, and we are concluding, trust me,